Welcome to Ignite Intimacy, a podcast exploring intimacy, romantic relationships, sexuality, and everything that relates to these hot topics. We're going in. Are you ready? This is your host, Laura Aisha. Let's do this. Hello, Ignite Intimacy community. This is your host, Miss Laura Aisha, and we have got something really special coming up for you on this episode. This is a different type of episode. Our featured guest today, Sara Yardeni, is actually going to guide me through a meditation on how to clear coding and connect with what I truly desire in love and partnership. So I'm super excited to share this with you. You can certainly sit and do the meditation with us. Just make sure that you are somewhere safe and stationary where you can actually go into the meditation with no concerns or worries about anything or anyone around you, and enjoy it. It certainly is a powerful practice, and I can't wait to see what you discover and receive through it. Also want to remind you that we are recording live at South by Southwest. So if you will be attending South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, we'll be hosting a live podcast recording on Saturday, March 9th at 9:30 a.m. at the JW Marriott. You can email us at hello@igniteintimacy.com for more information, and enjoy this episode. Lots of love, and we'll see you on the next side, on the other side. All right. Well, here we are. This is the month of February. Valentine's Day is February 14th. And as you know, we're focusing on love and intimacy, romance, relationships this month. And I'm really excited to have Sara Yardeni on the line with us today. This will be different type of conversation. We'll chat for a bit about love and relationships. We'll talk about the beautiful ability to date yourself, and then also dealing with, for anyone out there who is experiencing loneliness or sadness, disappointment, frustration, anger around being either single this Valentine's Day or being in a partnership that maybe you're not happy with or you're not content with. We're going to, touch into some of those topics as well. And then Sarah's going to lead me through this special meditation that she does so that you can all sit with us in this meditation and actually, receive something through it for you. So I'm so happy to have you on the line with us here today, Sara. Welcome so much to Ignite Intimacy.
Oh, thank you for having me. So happy to be with you.
Yeah, it is my pleasure. And I'm so excited to introduce our community to you. So when we first spoke, I was curious about how we could tie in your experience with Kabbalah and studying all of these different ancient wisdoms and spiritual practices, and how we could really tie that into Ignite Intimacy and what we focus on here, which is love, sex, and romance primarily. And through our conversation, we discovered that there could be some really cool topics to touch on, and then including this meditation that you'll lead me through further into this call. So I want to give our audience an opportunity to, know you a bit and learn more about, who you are in love and romance at this time. So tell us a bit about your journey into Kabbalah and what really brought you into this work that you're doing today.
Wow. I guess it's my life path, and it feels like destiny. It just feels like what I was always meant to do and wanted to do and probably signed up to do in this world. I found the wisdom of Kabbalah at a very young age. When I was about 18 years old, a very young person that had a lot of questions about life and the meaning and who I am and what's the purpose. And I was very determined to actually find those answers before I made big decisions in life. And I was lucky enough, fortunate enough to be introduced to Kabbalah through a book. And the book was called The Wheels of a Soul Reincarnation. It was written by a Kabbalist, Rav Berg. And I took this book with me to the army, the Israeli army, when I was just training to be a soldier. Believe it or not, taking that spiritual book with me and realizing that there was so much wisdom there about soulmates and why bad things happen to good people and what happens to the soul after when it departs from this world. So I found all those answers and a well of wisdom in a very young age, and I decided to be in that place where I could provide answers to people.
I love that.
And I really dedicated my life to be meaningful and share that meaning with others. And I did it for many years in many different countries. I started in Israel and New York and LA and Florida and Canada and Mexico, London. And I traveled a lot, and people are people everywhere, and we all have the same quest and desires. And so it's a universe of wisdom that I'm teaching and living my life by. And a few years ago, maybe 8 years ago, I just came to a place in my life where I had experienced a lot of pressure and pain, and I needed a way to process it. I'm a very emotional person, and it was hard to hold it all together. And here I met this beautiful practice that came from the East, from Korea, and it's a beautiful body energy work practice taught by an organization. It's called Body and Brain. And I started training and learning how to sort of like feeling my emotions and learning how not to suppress them or ignore them, but just feeling them and releasing them. Which I think is very important in relationship. When you're in a relationship with someone, some people push your buttons or make you feel all sorts of feelings, sometimes even tremendous amount of love. And you need to know how to learn to manage the energy of emotion. So that practice came into my life 8 years ago. And I knew it's going to become a part of me and a part of what I do. And I started to combine the ancient wisdom of Kabbalah, which is more intellectual, with this body energy work, which is definitely energetic and experiential. You feel it in your body. And then about 5 years ago, one of the best gifts of my life was a gift certificate to a theta healing session, which taught me something I knew, that our consciousness creates our reality. I didn't know that so much of my reality was determined by my subconscious beliefs. Maybe 88 to 90% of my experiences came from that place in me.
Yeah.
And when I learned through this method to enter that space, and I saw how many beliefs I had that no longer served me, I couldn't wait a minute to go through all those sessions and become an instructor of that method, because I'm really passionate about sharing what works for me and helping others move on in their life.
Well, and it's like this reminder that we do have these subconscious beliefs and these experiences that we've had in our lives, no matter how subtle or how big and powerful and all-encompassing that they've been, that continue to guide our choices and guide who we actually attract into our life and to our lives. And so it's like unpacking that coding, whatever is coded into the subconscious, and identifying what's there, and then beginning to rewire the system so that we can start to actually attract in what we desire to attract, right?
Correct. So, from a Kabbalistic perspective, when you talk about relationships, you talk about it from the perspective mostly of the soul, for the purpose of the soul being in this world, the birthright that we all have for being happy and fulfilled in this world. And relationship is sort of the playing field to get yourself ready and evolve to experience all the fulfillment that can come from relationships and intimacy. and sexuality. So we look at relationship from the aspect of how does it make my soul grow? How do I become a better human being? What virtues am I developing? What life lessons am I learning through the relationship with another person? And knowing that once the lesson is done, relationships do have expiration date, and as long as
Yeah, it's
the growth process, yeah.
well, it's like as much as we want to accept that or not, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Because you fall in love with someone, it doesn't mean that you'll be with that person forever or even for the short term.
Correct. So when you look at it as to the spiritual lens, you would know a person comes to your life and you're each other's sort of like teachers. And what are we learning from each other? How are we helping each other grow? What is our relationship and joint energy creates together in the world?
Mm-hmm.
These are things you look at when you look at it from a spiritual Kabbalistic perspective.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also I find it helpful to remember that we are each other's teachers.
Yes.
And we're teachers as well for others. So when I remember that, it can put things into perspective and taking it personally out of the mix to just say, wow, okay, what is really here for me to receive, shift, transform, accept, know in my relating with this other person?
Correct. And that's when you do that, you transition from victim consciousness to truly what we call creator's consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not just waiting to receive from the other person. You can take a step of, creating whatever dynamics you want to have in the relationship. It's a true partnership. So in fact, in the true relationship or spiritual relationship, you would have three partners. You would have each other, you have yourself, your relationship with the creator, and you have your relationship with your partner.
Exactly. One. And let's speak to that in terms of, so I have had the experience where, well, I've had a lot of different amazing people come in and out of my life. I have had very few long-term, what I would consider like substantial relationships. The type of relationship where you're with someone over the course of years, whether or not you're living with that person, but certainly spending a lot of time with that person. And that's been my experience. It's different than other people's experiences who have had longer term relationships or one long-term relationship that, spanned several years, several decades. What do you do with that piece of that triangle that where you've been mainly single?
Your relationship with the creator is an ongoing relationship. It's that relationship with basically with with the light force of the creator, with the it's with the source of life. So even if you have that relationship, always exists. It's you think
Mm-hmm.
you have your short term a relationship with maybe men or women in this world people have, but you truly have one long term relationship that never changes, and that is
Mm-hmm.
with this light force of the creator, which you could say, really that's the main relationship that we have. And it's relationship of love, it's relationship of kindness, it's a relationship also that we need to master. Actually, I find that if you are clear about that relationship, you could attract people that would respect you in a different way, that would you in yourself would be much more comfortable and confident. You will have clear boundaries, you will have clarity about who you are, what you want. That's something very important. I take this part of creating of having this relationship to a part of dating yourself. When I say dating yourself, is dating who you are as a person, as a soul in this world, and knowing who you are, why you are here, what's your energy, knowing your purpose. And that's what I mean when I say, relationship with the creator. It's the deep connection that you have to yourself about your own existence in this world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So talk us through your own experience in coming into this dating yourself that you've been, that you've been focusing more on your relationship with yourself over the last few years.
Well, the truth is that I started to focus on the relationship with myself when I was about 18 years old. And that was through the asking of those questions. I met a man who became my husband after a very short time. I was actually just thinking about it yesterday that basically 2 months after we met, in fact, I knew when I saw him, I remember the thought that came through my mind. And I knew that it was a thought of recognition. It was like, this is who you are. That's how you look like. And I knew. And, basically 7 months later, we were married. It was just like sort of like meant to be. And I met a man that was on the same spiritual path as I was, sharing very similar values, desires, goals. And we've been on a journey together for 21 years. After 21 years, we actually completed. It felt like a completion. It felt like we created a beautiful family, and we created a big impact of shifting consciousness in the world together. And it felt like that on a personal level, we have given each other everything we could possibly give each other. And it felt very natural to just let that part of the bond transition to be something else than marriage. And then in the past 4 years, I basically really invested a lot of time going back into that relationship with myself and life. That's where I started to really just focus on myself, who I am, more of who I am, what beliefs do I have that creates my life. I went really deep into my subconscious and my body and the energy. And I can tell you that it's very rewarding. I am open, and I can't wait to what this change is going to bring into my life in terms of a physical manifestation of a partner. So
and
this is where I am.
Yeah. What I want to point to is just that it's courageous to go from being in this, 21-year partnership and marriage, and then to move into this journey with yourself, and to not jump right back into a relationship with someone new, and to choose the relationship with you. There's something really courageous about that. And just really acknowledging you and your choice. It's important, I believe. I've gotten so much from having to navigate life as a single woman and as a single mom. And there's so many things that I certainly had support from my family and friends. However, at the end of the day, I was running my household. I was going to bed alone at night. And there were a lot of things to manage and navigate. And there were so many things that I learned about my own capacity to feel, to heal, to resolve and be resilient and resourceful. And it caused me to have to, self-soothe over and over again, and not have someone to lean into at the end of the day. Now, on the flip side of that, and what we're going to get into with this meditation, is I so deeply desire partnership. And I do this dance between, the dreamer in me and actually knowing that there is a partnership that fits for me and fits for the other person that's out there. And that's what I'm calling in. And I'm not willing to settle. However, I also know that there are stories and, just out there in the world, and it's like, kind of like, oh, you're dreaming if you think that you can have, XYZ. So I'm also a twin. And
Interesting.
yeah, so I came into the world from sharing the womb with another human
Mm-hmm.
being. And it's been really frustrating to me. It's like I'm looking for like the next iteration of my twin in partnership, right? Like someone I can explore everything with: life, love, travel, adventure, business, creation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm aware of, at least I'm aware of several things that have either consciously or subconsciously thwarted my ability or experience of actually like connecting with a partner in real
Mm-hmm.
time so far in my life. And I feel more ready than ever and I've actually been actively creating that I desire to have a bona fide boyfriend, and someone that I can journey with over the long term, whether or not I'm in one place or nomading around the world or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
because I've
Mm-hmm.
had men say to me, like, I don't think you're really in a position to have a relationship right now. And I just call BS on that because I don't believe that, I don't believe I have to be like in one place or XYZ in order to have XYZ, right? So I'm creating this from nothing and creating it as magical and blissful and amazing and connected as it can be. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes through this meditation. Can you share a bit with our audience about the meditation that we're going to do?
Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to use a deep brainwave, which is a theta brainwave. It's a brainwave that allows us to access our subconscious mind, where all of our memories are held and all of our programs, all of the beliefs that are formed since our childhood, our genetic beliefs, beliefs that belong to our own soul from all the lives we had, and the beliefs that belong to the soul group that we're a part of, the group consciousness that we're a part of. So we're going to enter that space where real change and instantaneous change takes place, the subconscious mind through the theta brainwave. And what's going to be special is, as we said before, we're going to do it for you. And everybody else that would like to be a part of it would just listen and would say that they agree and they accept those downloads and that energy transfer through the meditation that is going to happen. And we're also going to use a vibration of letters. In Kabbalah, we have a formula that's called the 72 Names of God. And it's based on an ancient story that's written in the Bible about the splitting of the Red Sea. Do you know that story?
Can you sum it up for us?
Well, it's basically a code. But in the Bible, the story goes to say that when the Israelites left Egypt, they faced the Red Sea and the army was behind them. The sea was in front of them. They were in a state of total desperation. And they were also certain that this is the end of the road and the end of the journey. And one person, one of the heads of the tribe, demonstrated complete and absolute certainty and went marching into the sea. And then the sea parted. And then the entire nation passed through the sea. The sea returned to be a dry land afterwards. And from those three verses that describe the splitting of the Red Sea story, the Kabbalists have extracted 72 combinations of letters that are made out of those verses. And each one of them, they are not words, they're just combination of letters. The vibration of the letters correspond to a certain ability to create miracles, to defy the laws of gravity. You can learn more about it on Kabbalah.com. Read a book that's called The 72 Names of God. And just listening to the vibration of those letters would shift your consciousness or give you a certain ability to create something in this physical reality. So we were going to use the letters Sin Aleph Hey, which is for soulmate, the vibration for soulmate, and Hey Hey Ein, which is unconditional love. And if anything else comes through, I will just bring it on and share it with everybody. And when we are in that deep state of meditation, to have this as part of our subconscious mind and have healthy beliefs about relationship, connecting to our divine life partners, most compatible divine life partners. We need to know what we ask for. That's what we're going to do.
Wonderful. All right. Well, shall we?
Yes. So to begin with, I wanted to ask you, what are some of the things you have learned from having the type of relationships that you already had, that style of relationship that you mentioned? What have you learned?
Like, what have I learned in the romantic relationships that I've had?
Yeah, you said you have a certain style of having had an experience. So
Mm-hmm.
what have you learned from it? What have you learned about yourself?
Yeah, I've learned that I value freedom, like almost
Mm-hmm.
above, like it's interesting because I value both freedom and connection almost above anything.
Mm.
And so having both, it's like
Mm.
I something I know about myself is that I need the freedom to explore and adventure and be the curious soul that I am. And I also need or desire to know that the person that's in my life is there and that they have the capacity and the space for me to be free and that they're
Mm-hmm.
not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you learned through the relationship that you had, you learned to really define what is important to you and what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the way that you learned it is by having that style of relationship, which was so far, whatever that style was, right?
Well, no, the way that I've learned it is by not having it.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
learned by not having it.
Yeah. I also like deeply
Yeah, so
value
mm-hmm,
honesty and communication.
mm-hmm,
And where I've had a lot of relationships where I wasn't being fully transparent about my desires and needs
mm-hmm,
and vision, and where because I wasn't open about it, I wasn't able to create it. And then I've also had relationships where I have been very open, and either the other person said, no, that doesn't work for me, or it created deeper connection.
okay, okay, all right. So what I'm going to do is through this meditate. Did you want to say something else?
Well, yeah, so there's this other thing that I've experienced in my life from all the way back to conception to now is that hearing this reflection that, I'm too much, or, I have so much energy, or I I want too much, or I take over, or like that I'm too much basically. And this deep desire of wanting a partner who sees me fully, like really gets who I am at the core, and where I don't have to explain myself.
Mm-hmm,
Uh,
mm-hmm.
and yeah, so where I am simply and powerfully seen and held and truly honored for the bigness and the smallness and the gentleness and the powerfulness, just all of it.
Yeah, full acceptance,
Mm-hmm.
accepting you for who you are, your true essence. So what we're going to do, it's called downloads, and we're going to basically open a receptor cells for you and anyone that would like to be able to experience relationship in the way that you have mentioned. And okay, so let's start. So make yourself feel comfortable, take a deep breath into your heart.
Mm-hmm. I want to add one more thing because it's also where there is space for just like deep, true intimacy and love and cuddling and connection, and also passionate, amazing sexual energy as well. That's reciprocal, that's shared, for it to be
Yes.
shared. And mutual.
Wonderful. Yes. Okay. So, do I have your permission to take you through this meditation and access your subconscious mind, load you with some valuable, meaningful downloads and new thought patterns?
Yes.
So, take a deep breath in, settle into your heart. And from your heart, send your consciousness to the center of the earth and scoop the earth's energy. Let it flow into your body through the bottom of your feet. Feel it swirling around your ankles, your calves, your knees, and your thighs. Feel the energy penetrating your body and opening each and every energy center inside of you. Flowing through your root chakra, to your core, to your solar plexus, into your heart and your throat, in between your eyes. Feel the energy accumulating all the way until it's ready to pop out of the top of your head, the center of your scalp, and form a beautiful ball of light. See yourself in that ball of light and take a moment to notice its color and release it up to the sky, into the clouds, past the clouds, past the stars, to the outer space. Feel the sensation of being pulled up and up and up through many layers of bright lights. In between those lights, there may be a little dimmer light, but just keep on going upward and upward and upward with dozens and dozens of layers of lights until you get to a beautiful golden light and into a layer of energy that feels like keep going upward and up and up. And when you come out of that layer of energy, in the far distance, you see a beautiful iridescent light. Make yourself go all the way up to it. You keep elevating and elevating. When you come close, you may notice a pinkish mist. This is the law of compassion, and when you touch it, it pushes you all the way up. Take a deep breath in and feel a tingling sensation in your crown, down your face, and all over your body, and become one of Creator's energy. And stay there. And can I give you a download of Creator's perspective for what it really free as a human being on this? If you do this, want this download, you simply say yes.
Yes.
And would you like to know what it feels like and that it's possible for you to have freedom and to feel intimately connected to someone?
Yes.
And would you like to know that the person, your most compatible divine life partner, already exists?
Yes.
And would you like to have Creator's definition and perspective on intimacy and sexuality?
Yes.
And would you like to know that you are worthy of the highest and best expression of intimacy and sexuality?
Yes.
Would you like to know when and how and that it's possible for you and what it feels like to have a partner that is equally as powerful as you are?
Yes.
Would you like to know that it's possible for you to have the partnership you desire to have without having to sacrifice your freedom?
Yes.
Would you like to know what it feels like to start a relationship without having a fear that it's going to be like the old one?
Yes.
Would you like to know what it feels like to be embraced, to be fully accepted, to be adored, admired, loved, and appreciated for your true essence?
Yes.
Would you like to know it's possible to have a loving relationship without having to lose love and respect for yourself?
Yes.
Would you like to know what it feels like to have circuitry in a relationship? How to have circuitry in a relationship? And that it's possible for you to have circuitry in all of your relationship and feel circuitry in your relationship in every area of your life, every part of your being, every cell of your body, in the highest, best, and easiest way for you and for all from now on.
Circuitry meaning?
Flow, equal flow of giving and receiving of energy.
Yes.
Yes. Hmm. Would you like to know that it is as equally powerful to be the receiver as the giver in the relationship, and how to play each role? That
Yes.
you know how to be in that role and have discernment of when to be in that role, how long to stay in that role.
Yes.
Now we're going to ask to use the vibration of the sacred vibration of the 72 names of God for Sin Aleph Hey, Hey Hey Ein, unconditional love, and Mem Hey Shin for healing. So would you like to know when and how that it's possible for you and what it feels like to heal from past relationships?
Yes.
And would you like to know when and how and that it's possible for you and what it feels like to connect with your most compatible divine life partner?
Yes.
Would you like to know Creator's definition, perspective, and feeling on unconditional love? And to know that you can be loved unconditionally and love unconditionally?
Yes.
And would you like to know that when you love someone unconditionally, you can request or accept of them to change and to grow while you love them unconditionally?
Yes.
How do you feel, Laura?
I feel peaceful.
Yes, wonderful. Let me see. Let me see. Would you like Creator's definition and perspective on divine timing? To know that you are living your life in divine timing. To know how to step into your divine timing with ease and grace and joy and love.
Yes.
And would you like to know what it feels like to have patience?
Yes.
And would you like to know how to fully accept yourself? What it
Yes.
feels like to fully accept yourself?
Yes.
And how to live your life without having to feel that you are too much?
Yes.
Yes. And also for others, maybe if they would like to receive the download, that they would know how to feel like without feeling that they are not enough.
Yes.
And would you like to know that you know what it feels like, and you will know, and you already know how to recognize and be open and ready for your most compatible divine life partner?
Yes.
How do you feel now?
I feel like tingly inside and some excitement. Yeah, movement.
Movement of energy. That's beautiful. So now we're gonna do some body energy work actually. You can keep your eyes closed and be in that state. You can put your hands in front of your chest and basically rub your palms together to create some heat and energy through your palms.
Okay.
A little bit more. And then put your palms on your chest, on your heart, and send good warm energy to your heart. And would you like to know that it's safe for you to be loved? And that it's safe for you to love?
Yes.
And now just give yourself a big hug, a big loving hug to yourself for being who you truly are, for expressing your beautiful light and intention to the world. And the other side, put arms around your body and say thank you to yourself for showing up the way you do. And gently, gently open your eyes. How do you feel?
Grateful.
Yeah, I feel really my heart opening, and so happy to be able to share this. And I hope everybody that would listen to it would have the same sensation and experience, and will have new beautiful experiences of relationship in their lives.
Sara, thank you so much for being with us and for the meditation and for just sharing so graciously and generously. This has been a real pleasure to be with you on the line today.
Thank you. Thank you.
How can people connect with you?
They could come to classes that I teach at the Kabbalah Center in New York, Midtown, and check Kabbalah.com for the schedule. That is probably the best way.
Okay, great. And do you have an email or anything that you'd like to share with our audience, or we can certainly put that in the show notes later?
Okay, we'll put contact information later.
Perfect. Okay, great. So Ignite Intimacy, I hope that you had a journey along with me in this meditation. Would love to hear your thoughts. How was that for you? What did you receive? How do you feel in your body and your heart and your mind? And reach out to us, hello@igniteintimacy.com. And Sara, thank you so much again for being here with us today in the month of love, as we're exploring relationships and clearing the old codes so that we can create the new ones that will truly allow us to attract and experience what we desire in our lives.
Thank you.
Well, lots and lots of love to you all. And thanks again, Sara. What a pleasure.
Thank you.
Whoa, baby. That was powerful. After that meditation, it's like my whole body, it was like through the meditation, I could feel something open up and like energy started moving and trickling through my chakras, like along my spine and my throat and my head. It was really an incredible feeling. I also felt so relaxed and calm and peaceful. It's really amazing what happens when we go within and allow ourselves to open up to receive and something new. I am super excited to see what will happen now moving forward in my journey of discovering love and partnership and romance in my life. What did you receive? How was that meditation for you? Give us a shout out, hello@igniteintimacy.com. I want to hear from you and know, what did you receive? How did your body and your senses and your heart and your mind open up and react to this meditation? We'd also love for you to hop over to iTunes. If you're enjoying this podcast, leave us a rating and a review. It supports other people to find the podcast easier. And please share with your friends. We will be at South by Southwest recording live a conversation called Making Disclosure Sexy on Saturday, March 9th in Austin, Texas at 9:30 a.m. And we hope to see some of you there. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know what it is. Love, connection, intimacy. We are here on Ignite Intimacy. Thank you for being on the journey with us. Big love, stay blessed, and ciao for now.
Ready. I wonder what mood God was in when you were sparked. Just for now, let us say you were grown and groomed with the combs of tender dilation to widen your eyes so that you could see me exactly when I disappeared. And let us just say, I was ready. I was ready to be swallowed by your vision, ready to again turn the color code of my sight to yet another kind of blind. Yes, I was willing. But you, and the genius of pitch gold that you are, guided my hand not to the braille of your exquisite design, but to the opening of my own.
Thanks for tuning in to another conversation on the Ignite Intimacy podcast hotline. We love that you choose to spend your time with us. Check us out at igniteintimacy.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes and leave us a review and a rating. It helps more people know about us. We love to hear from you. You can email us with questions, comments, or suggestions to hello@igniteintimacy.com. And tell your friends. Music was arranged by Jason Pfaff and Mike Corey, and this podcast is produced by yours truly, Laura Aisha. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. In the meantime, let your light shine bright and ignite your intimacy.